Bruce Lee has a quote where he talks about the importance of being versatile. And the quote goes like this. He says, "Be formless. Be shapeless like water. You put water into the cup, water becomes the cup. You put water into a teapot, water becomes the teapot." One, that's a freaking cool quote. Like, put that on a t-shirt tomorrow. Second, that's the key in modern college football. That is the key to winning national championships, dare I say, in a lot of conferences, conference championships. That's going to be crucial. In a lot of, I say in a lot, probably in every single college football playoff we see now going forward, teams will have to shapeshift to win national championships. You might have to play a shootout against Texas or an Oregon one week, and the next week have to turn around, and it's a rock fight. I mean, you're going back and forth in the line of scrimmage. You're trading field goals. Like, it might be that kind of a path to win national titles here going forward. So with that being our sort of our precursor, who are those teams that maybe have the ingredients to be water in 2024, that can be shapeless and have success? As I started to put the segment together, as I was lying in bed last night, I was like, well, man, you can't really just go down the list here and pick all the big boys, because quite frankly, a lot of those big boys, I think, have a lot of potential to be the shapeless, formless kind of teams, be versatile, like Georgia. We talk about that a lot. Ohio State, we're going to talk about them more in a little bit here. So who are those teams, here's the caveat, outside of the top 5 betting odds to win the national championship? So that eliminates for us Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Oregon, Alabama. Those are the top 5 teams on FanDuel that have odds to win the national championship. So who are the teams outside of those odds that we think are versatile and are your be water kind of teams, if you will? So we say, okay, can't have the top 5. Let's go to number 6. The 6th best odds to win the national championship, and a team that I feel great about heading into 2024 for this exact reason, because they're going to be able to be formless and be shapeless and be water. It's Ole Miss. It's Ole Miss, man, and I like them to win any style of game. They bring back 80% production from last year's squad offensively that scored 31 points a game. Most importantly now, your quarterback, okay, Jackson Dart, Darty's season. I think he's going to have a massive year, taking yet another step in this RPO scheme. You bring back Trey Harris, and oh, by the way, just because you felt like it, you went out and got Juice Wells, one of the best receivers in the SEC from a couple years ago over there from South Carolina. He's going to be a dog for you. So you have that going for you. But also, if you look at Ole Miss a season ago, they were also a run-first football team. Like 55% of the time, Coach Weiss and Coach Kiffin are dialing up some run plays. And so I think the mix of being able to stretch the field vertically, they also want to attack you on the perimeter, but also being able to slow the game down, go some quarterback design runs with Jackson Dart, move the line of scrimmage up front. I think Ole Miss has that in their bag this year, especially with what they bring back offensively. So I think they can play multi-styles there. But then defensively is the big part here for Ole Miss. This is why I think they are one of those be-water teams. This defense goes into their 2nd season under Coach Golding. Suntarine Perkins, he's a freak show linebacker for you. You got him. You got Ivy. He's a beast for you. We talk about these dudes a lot. Princely Umanmielen and Walter Nolan, adding them via the portal on the defensive line gives them more of a puncher's chance, in my mind, to match up with those teams in a rock fight kind of game. So Ole Miss, to me, definitely one of those be-water teams, one of those versatile teams in 2024. They can apply pressure for you on the ground and also through the air. Here's a sneaky one now. They're kind of flying under the radar a little bit. We had them in our top 10 preseason, or post-spring, rather, I guess, so that is preseason, top 25 teams in college football. How about Utah? They're sneaky now. They're sneaky. Coach Whittingham, man, we know what they're going to be. This is like every single year. I mean, let's look to the next 3 years. If Coach Whittingham is still at Utah, they will be physical up front. They will be able to stop the run the ball. That's going to be their MO. That's who they are. All right? Now, however, you insert back into that lineup Keithy, the tight end. You insert back into that lineup one of the best quarterbacks in college football when he's healthy in Cam Rising with some sweet flow out the bucket. And then you bring back Money Parks. You went out and got Dorian Singer, big-time playmaker in the Pac-12. Rest in peace, Pac-12. This is going to be a squad now that can attack you in the trenches. And then also, I think with Cam Rising, if he's healthy, which is a major, major if, they're going to be able to score points in bunches because of his experience and because of his physical ability. Whether it be throwing the ball or running the ball, he's going to be a factor for you. Again, we hope he's healthy, but Utah, one of those teams now that can play in multiple styles of games. If they get into the college football playoff, look out. That's all I'll say. Look out. Notre Dame, another versatile team, another B-Water team. A lot of this for me hinges on Riley Leonard. We'll talk about that more here in a second, but like they have all the pieces offensively to be multidimensional. Because last year you had Audric Estime, and he was just your sledgehammer for you. He's gone to the league, but I think that mentality is still there offensively, even with your new OC and Mike Denbrock. And then defensively, as long as Marcus Freeman is your head coach, I say this a lot about coaches, you can't change where you come from. Forget geographically. I'm talking about from a football perspective. Marcus Freeman is from the defensive side of the ball. As long as he is your head coach, there will be an identity and a swagger and a emphasis on playing good defense. That was the case last year. You bring back some key pieces, even with losing the guy like JD Bertrand. Great name, by the way. Some key pieces back in the secondary, in Xavier Watts, in Ben Morrison. Like, they got some dudes now. Jordan Botello, I love. This is the year, Jordan. Hey, we've been buying stock for a while. This is the year we cash in. Got some guys on defense to make something shake. If Riley Leonard can unlock the deep passing game, like Mike Denbrock can do with Riley Leonard, a version of what he did with Jaden Daniels at LSU, they're going to be lethal. Because they went out and got some real speed in the portal, and Chris Mitchell and Jaden Harrison, guys that are from G5 schools but are going to absolutely burn at Notre Dame this upcoming season. Jeremiah Love, I've been extremely bullish on for a while now. They got some dudes that can make real amounts of electric kind of plays offensively. You pair that with the defense, I like where Notre Dame sits. Again, sitting in that 5 spot, fresh off a bye because no conference championship game. If they end up in that 5 spot, home game in South Bend for a college football playoff round 1 game, and then you go play probably a Big 12 or ACC champ the next game. Look out for the Irish now. Marcus Freeman challenging everything, and it's paying dividends. One more sneaky team for you here, because we had to get a little creative because you get outside of the top 5 betting odds. You're like, okay, well, these teams are outside of the top 5 betting odds for a reason, right? So we're projecting a little bit here, but Wisconsin, man, I'll be honest here. Hand up. We've had a couple of hand up moments already throughout the show based on last year's takes. Joe Milton, I thought he'd be great. Hand up. He wasn't great. He was good. Wasn't great. Hand up again. I fell for Wisconsin last year, y'all. I fell for Wisconsin. Tanner Mordecai was coming in there with so much juice. Braylon Allen looks like an action figure. Luke Fickell, all those. I fell for it hard last year, y'all. I'm back. I'm falling for them again. Wisconsin, man, they bring back 71% production from last year's defense that allowed right around 20 points a game. You lose Braylon Allen. You lose an Avenger in the backfield. That sucks, right? Like, let's be honest. That sucks. This backfield should still be really good. You got Walker transferring in from Oklahoma in the backfield. You got Ches Malusi in the backfield who's back. 2 proven commodities. If Tyler Van Dyke can get back to his old ways of what he was at Miami under Rhett Lashley, and this marriage with Phil Longo is able to translate to how we expected it to translate with Tanner Mordecai last year, look out for Wisconsin. Look out for Wisconsin. That's all I'm going to say, because Bama trots in there early on in the year. It'll be big noon. Jump around will be Blair and Gus Johnson on the call. Like, I'm just saying, look out for Wisconsin. They're pivoting to this new Wisconsin with Luke Fickell there and Phil Longo with the offensive attack there. They're no longer a 5 tight end, 6 tight end, 8 tight end kind of operation. I'm being hyperbolic. I understand you can't have 8 tight ends on the field at a time, though that would be cool. I'm just saying, old Wisconsin is still existing. The physical brand is still there with, I think, the new edge of what they want to be offensively. Wisconsin, one of those teams now, if they can play in shootouts, look out, because the rock fight juice is there, if you ask me. So the teams that are water, are formless, are Bruce Lee-ish kind of teams, if you will. Ole Miss, Utah, Notre Dame, and Wisconsin, all very versatile, and all teams that I think, if they were to get into the dance, could present some issues for some unsuspecting opponents. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.